Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So, welcome to December 24th, 2025. Welcome to another glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale. And this is me, you guys. This is me. So, welcome to today. I wanted to come in here really quick and not to stay long because I have to finish up some stuff, right? Because we're probably all running around and trying to figure out stuff and buying stuff or not buying stuff and sleeping and just trying to, if you're off from work, enjoy this time. If you are off from work, please enjoy this time. My goodness, enjoy the time off with family. So, this conversation I wanted to start, I just wanted to come in here and I was like, I'm not going to go in, but I'm like, I'm not doing anything right now. So, I'm going to go in. And I just wanted to come in here just for a few minutes and kind of give you some perspective as it relates to the question, what should you get to, should you get together with family this holiday season, this Christmas season? And this time of year, that question is very much loaded. It carries a lot of weight, right? Because some people, like me, it means laughter, it means fun, it means comfort, it means happiness, it means united with family, get together and a lot of games and a lot of food and a lot of all the things, right? And others, it means something different, right? It means for other people around this holiday season, it means family, it can mean tension, it can mean pressure, it can mean silence, it can mean old wounds, right? It can mean judgment, it can mean emotional exhaustion, like all the things. It can mean stress, in other words. Getting together with family, it can be stressful. So some people are getting together with family, some people are not. So that's my question this morning, and no judgment either way. That's the way I kind of see it. No judgment either way. For me, I love the holiday season, love it. So I get together with family, 9 times out of 10. We get together with family, but there's some people out there that that's not the case, right? And that's okay. um so good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Mary. Darwin Rogers, welcome you guys. Thank you for passing through. Welcome to a glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale. Hi, Shailene. I was waiting for you, Shailene. Shy, that's my girl that's gonna join me today in this conversation. Let me send you an invite, Shy. I'm sending you an invite. Hopefully you get it so that you can join. Okay. I'm here on TikTok. Shy, did you get the invite? Let me know if you got the invite. The transformation lady, thank you guys. Thank you for joining. Yes, I just sent you a link. Shy. Yes, the link is here on TikTok. I sent it to you just now. Let me try send it to you again. Invite. Hi, good morning. It should pop up on this same screen that you're looking at, Shy. It should pop up. Oh, there you go. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, my voice is rough, but I look pretty decent. How do I turn on my camera? Well, you turn on my, I don't know how to turn on the camera.
I thought that you do that, right? You could do that.
I think I do that, right? Let me click on myself.
Yeah. I got my girl Shailene chatting with me this morning as you guys pass through. Tell me good morning. Tell me where you guys are joining from. Yes, let us know here on TikTok.
I look kind of rough. I'm getting over a lingering cold now for the past 2 weeks.
You mean you look like Christmas morning? You looking like it's okay. It's completely
it's okay. Life is life, and then I got me some vitamin C immune boosting like little powder things, so I'm gonna drink that.
Because you came from New York a couple of days ago or something, right?
Well, it's been 2 weeks, so I went to New York unprepared. It was 30 degrees, and I went to this black and white event. So I wore this thin black dress with some heels, and I'm from Florida, so I don't have winter clothes. So I took a jacket and a sweater. Boy, did that!
Did you not look up the degrees, Shailene, in
No,
New York?
I thought I could handle it because I was literally going up there for 24 hours. So I flew up a Saturday morning. The event was in the evening, and I was supposed to fly back the next day. And then I messed up because I stayed next to JFK
Yeah.
instead of staying next to the event. So it was $100 ride to the event. And then I said, you know what? I paid $20 when it's just right there. So then I froze my butt, and then I walked to New York in my dress and heels, caught the train, then made it back to my hotel. But boy, I came back wounded. I was like so wounded. Like the remnants is still there.
My good. I hope you learned your lesson. I hope you learned your lesson.
No, most definitely.
Look at you. Look at you.
I have to hit up Burlington Coal Factory before traveling up north.
That is the go-to place. That's where Mom and I was there a couple of days ago, as a matter of fact. So yes, hi. You don't look. Well, if you really feel, I hope you don't feel bad though, right? You just have a cold in your nose and that's it.
Well, no, I have tension headache.
Headache. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? I keep smiling. I keep it going. I pretend it's not there. And I have like Vicks.
Oh well, Vicks fixes everything. My mom fixes. Yeah. Vicks fixes everything. Yeah, Vicks fixes everything. If that's a Hispanic thing, does it fix everything everywhere else? I wonder.
You know what? So my sister was like, "Oh, you gotta put Vicks on your feet and then put socks on, then rub it on my chest." And then she goes and she puts it in her nostrils. I said, "Wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? I have an overdose."
I do put it like in like my nose right here. On top.
She stuck her finger and put it all up in there. She was like, "No, it gotta get in there." And I said, "No." And then I've been drinking like soup and just the basic stuff. But I feel like it's cold weather season.
Yeah, it is. So a lot of people that I know as well are like have are getting the cold around this time. As well. So yes, so you are doing your vitamin C. You're doing the little packages. What do you call them again?
Yeah, 1,000. That's what the 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what I mean. The little blue package that says 1,000, and then the immune. I don't even know what the name is.
Yeah, I forgot, but I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
To try to sweat it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it's in the corner so that God forbid I cough or make a sniffle up in there. They'll be like,
right. You're good. Thank you guys for joining. So we wanted to come in here, even though the day before Christmas, it can be a funky time. I know some people are running around, getting gifts still or getting ready for dinner to make dinner. Or Christmas. So for Thanksgiving, my sister-in-law came down and I cooked. And so we kind of switched this time, and now she's cooking, and so we're going up north to Port St. Lucie for the holidays. So you gotta spread the workload. You can't just do it all yourself, You shouldn't do it all yourself. You have too many hands and too many people around. Put them to work.
You know what? I think that's what makes the holidays, right? Because if you came up and it showed up already, it would end quick. So it was like, hey, dinner's ready, come sit down, and it's an hour and a half later, and then what are we still doing here? Yeah. Versus, like, y'all gonna help me cook. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? The guys are gonna sit somewhere watching the football game, we already know. But then all the aunties and the sisters were in the kitchen, talking, drinking some coquito in my house.
Coquito, yeah. No, you can say coquito because I got me some coquito as well.
Yeah, drinking some coquito, like it's not frowned to see a Corona at 10 a.m.
Good morning, you guys.
Yeah, it's not frowned upon. So then, you got the Corona, and then we're cooking for all those hours. And And then what happens? We eat, and then everybody continues to linger afterwards. So it turns out to be like a
Or
whole
you
thing.
play games or something, we play games as well. That's what we did. Did you check out the games on Netflix? Like Netflix has some like games that you could play with your phone. Did you
I saw that. I don't know how to do it.
you
I
gotta
don't
open it, you gotta open it up.
no. I need a kid to sit by me and be like, "Yo, let's do this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
No,
Because
but it wasn't like it's not like, like the Call of Duty games, which is, my husband plays, or anything like that. It's the actual, like, I think they have like Pictionary. They have Pictionary games that you could actually, yeah, like the ones that you would do, like the drawing thing. They actually have it, so you can guess the next word, and you can kind of play in teams and stuff like that. We played that. It was kind of fun.
okay, so no, I have. I'm gonna try it out.
You should try it out. You should try it out. Good morning, you guys. So welcome to A Glimpse of Growth. I'm here with my girl Shailene, and she is, getting over a cold. And the conversation, or the question I wanted to ask was, should we get together with family this holiday season? And I said, for me and Shailene, probably the holidays, they're about family and laughter and warmth and comfort and getting together. But for other people, it's a lot of tension. It's a lot of
It's
sadness.
the reason to show up. You feel regardless of, if you know that you have that one sibling, one sister, one whatever, that's gonna give you shit, embrace it. Be like, come on, Grinch, let's get this. I was like, you gotta already know, because certain people act a certain same way every single time. So
But
why does it
Shailene,
matter?
come on, you guys get Shailene. But what about those people that don't have family members, that are that they're not good with their family? There's a lot of silence and judgment and
So
wounds.
this will be the year to shake it up. They're not gonna expect you coming left on them, right? So
You're saying to go, and because because you probably usually don't go, right? You're like, show
yeah,
up.
you don't go. But this is the year. You know what? I'm gonna tell everybody about themselves this year. And you know what? That's family therapy without you even knowing it. You feel me? You think
That's a
you think
form of
it's gonna be
therapy, I guess.
Sunday?
And I
Okay.
guess you don't want to be like, like blurbing things out, and like, let me get this off my chest, that, because it could turn into something very, different, right?
Well, I mean, it's the way you approach it. Be like, you know what? I've been in this family for 25 years, and you guys suck. You feel me? Nobody know, let's really get I have no communication between you and my mother. We were MIA. We're like forced on to sit here right now. But why? So we gotta look at it like that. So you know what? There's no better time like the present to fix anything that is bothering you. Because why continue to move another 5, 10 years knowing that, you know what, you wish you could be part of your family, but you hate them? Who cares? Accept them how they are. Half of them are going to be crazy. That's normal. Everybody has a crazy one. Everybody has a drugged out uncle or some shit. You know, feel me? Everybody, and nobody has a perfect family. But
Yeah. But why do we then, if we don't, then why do we act like we need to, we like, thank you for joining. Hi, Robert Clark. Thank you for passing through. So if you don't have really good, that if we know that families are not perfect, why are we always acting like we're looking for perfection?
well, I think it's because we're trying to keep up with the status quo. We're always looking left, and
I
we're trying to
said
get
that last week, keeping up with the Jones.
okay, yeah, all right. I didn't know. I didn't. Yeah, but check me out. Like, if that's the case, look, all right. I'm gonna tell you something I learned, right? And it didn't come until, like, unfortunately, my mom passed away, and a lot of things happened to me that went, left, right? I realized that you will never be as young as you are at this very moment. So time is of the essence, right? So if you do want, and this is not a force upon anybody, if you do want to have, a relationship with your family, and you know that they're like sideways crazy and hard to deal with, well, make that effort. But know that you made the effort, and then they didn't want to do it, or they didn't want to proceed or whatever. Then keep it going. Keep it going. But then you know what? I came up to these people. I told them how I felt. I told them that I wanted to do things differently, and either one, they're gonna agree and then get their shit together so that we could move forward. Not maybe this Christmas because you kind of laid it on them, but it's something to look forward to 2026 Christmas, right? then or you could just, if you don't want to put the time and effort, then stop worrying about it and then let it go.
But
Let it
then,
go.
that's the yin and the yang, right? Yeah, I want to be with my
So
family,
it's gonna be
but
yin and yang.
that I don't want to be around them when they do things like this, because they make me feel uncomfortable. I feel depleted when I leave from their
Okay,
presence.
so when you go there and you know that they're about that, you got to remove yourself from the noise, right? Regardless what they say, they could call you like, okay, I have a thing. Okay, so I'm Hispanic, so the issue about the weight is every single visit. Oh,
Oh
you gained weight.
please,
Oh, you
oh
lost
please,
weight.
yeah. That's, I mean, it
Yeah,
must
yeah.
be.
So so so
It's the same
and
thing. I think all families say that, right? Oh, you gained some weight this year. Okay.
yeah, so that's the opening line. And before, like when I say before, when I was younger, when I was like about like 15, 16, and I was still a kid, I would be embarrassed to just be going to these family members' house because I knew the comment was going to be about my weight. It was going to be an issue, right? So one day, and I think I was 19 years old, I kind of got mad and I said, you know what? I'm not coming over here no more if you keep mentioning my weight. If you look at me, I didn't change much. Look at the picture. I got mad. I was like, I'm consistent. I was like, next year I probably look the same. So I'm gonna save you next year. I look fat. So yeah, and I told her straight out, I won't ever come here to your house anymore if you keep this shit up. Because I was already fed up. I was
You
traumatized as
told
a
her
kid.
that. You told her that.
Yeah, I told her that in a mean way, and then like in a Puerto Rican Spanish cursing out because she reached the limit of limits. You feel me?
Yeah.
And it was something that she later came on and she was like told me like it was my aunt. She was like, "No, I love you very much. Like you're good just the way you are." And then my mom got offended too. She was like, like don't be talking about my girl because I'm. It was partially my mom overfeeding me as a baby that I was just a little chunky child. Because there's no reason a kindergartner should weigh 80 pounds. There's no reason. And I was that kindergartner. You know what I mean?
Got it. Got it.
But what
Got
I'm trying
it.
to say, to circle back to the story, is like either you figure out what you want. If you want to be with your family and spend time with your family, get it going. You feel me? Regardless of what that looks like, even if it's not perfect, but you can plan it out for next year, and then you can hold something at your own house and invite your own family where you control the narrative and you set the
Mm.
rules and you tell them what time to come in, and
Mm.
then you don't extend that. You be like, hey, it's only from 6 to 7, so make sure you're on time.
Right. So then,
But
I, from what I'm hearing from you, then you're like, go, be present, enjoy the laughter, enjoy the food, enjoy the memories, but and then even, but remember your boundaries. That's what I'm hearing. That don't neglect yourself in that process, right?
yes, because you already know they're gonna come left, so you kind of have to walk in with a shield. So if they say something, just smile and be like, "Oh, here's that one. Here's that one," because you already know people don't tend to change their habits real quick. So you already know you're gonna get this from this person, that from that person, and then just look at them and love them for who they are because that's so sad that they're focused on that shit. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. So I kind of like I zoom all the way out and then I look at people and then I'm like, oh, that's how you're thinking, and I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I thank God that my mentality and the way I approach things is so much different because that must be hard for them to continuously,
And
compare themselves to
and the way
anything
I
or
see it, I think it's projecting, right? There, people are projecting. Hi, Roxanne. Thank you for passing through. Lucero Alvarez. Good morning. I think that it's projecting their, insecurities onto you, and which is why they're calling out your stuff, right? Because they don't want attention on them. So then that's a really good time. Because remember that when, at the end of the day, people want to be loved. They want to be accepted for who they are, whatever that looks like, right? And a lot of people don't get that in their,
can I say
in
something?
these spaces, right? Yeah.
So when you love yourself, the shift dynamic in a room switches, right?
Mm.
Because now you will accept little to no disrespect, and you hold your head a certain way. So when a person does come to you and they start reflecting and start talking to you negatively, just smile and say thank you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cancel the noise because the best thing you could do is just stand down and smile. And if you can handle, that's the strongest thing, because to not be triggered
Mm.
and not be triggered, it takes a lot of effort and energy up front, because somebody could say something and you could just go left. You know, I'm about to slap this person right now. They're about to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to go to jail on Christmas Eve. It's not gonna
Don't do it. Don't do it.
yeah. So you got to look at it like that. So how how much do I want this? And then, but know your value and your worth coming in, so that the noise doesn't affect you, because you can't control how other people are gonna feel about you. You can't control how other people are like. There's really no way to mitigate that, right?
Right.
So, but you want to be part of the environment, so you have to be able to, walk out with a couple of scrapes and bruises and still smile and say, "Wow, I made it through that."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and then it gets easier every single other time that you walk into a room knowing that there's gonna be objection and people are not gonna like you, because that your family is basically training you for life. And I feel like I have.
Say that again. I think that I agree with that 100%. I think if you can get if you can get over, or you can not get over, I guess the question is if you can survive your family, right, in terms of when they criticize or say things, because people are they're gonna always say whatever they're gonna say. You can't control that, right? We try to control it, but we can't control it.
No, exactly. So you can't. So in my instance, I've had my share of crazies. So now when I run into life and somebody comes at me sideways, I'm like, oh no, I have the real one at home, boy, and that one. You know what I'm saying? They can't compare the level of crazy I experience at home. So it's almost bearable to like the insults and just a whole bunch of crazy things people like. The hate is real out here. So that's what I'm saying. So take every negative thing that is happening to you right now, because it's a self development to make you better, and regardless of what it is. And I can't speak, but just look, really look, understand your situation, and if you're down and out, be like, where's my lesson here? What's really going on? How did I end up this far? But it's not about your situation, because it could be a level of things. It could be financial. It could be family. It could be,
Yeah, it could be a number of a number of things.
yeah, so it's how you react to it after understanding that this is my reality, and then how I'm going to move forward. And then just stop worrying about it, because one thing is, if you have faith, right? And it doesn't have to be in a religious thing, but if just the universe or whatever it is you really believe in, if you really got that faith, bro, to move forward and let things go, it really makes a difference. And
But
that's
Shailene,
why.
people have to get there. A lot of people that people have to get there. A lot of people are just not there. Healthy, and I know that, just a reminder for everybody out there, healthy families need boundaries. Even if your family is great, or they're like, you, oh, I have healthy family relationships, okay, good. Remember that you still need boundaries. If you thinking healthy is just you just being a yes person, or yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 and do you continue to give,
No, it's not.
that's not healthy. And you need to have boundaries around time, around topics, around your energy. You're like, at the party or get together is like 5 hours, you tell them, I only got 2 hours. If you need to have some boundaries, because if you can't be there, or you don't want to be there their entire time, make sure you let them know that, right? Now, be honest about it, and don't sacrifice yourself just because you want to be there, and be, the guilt stuff starts happening and all that stuff.
No, most definitely. But that goes back to you knowing what you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it also goes back to you loving yourself, because once you love yourself, those boundaries automatically appear out of nowhere. And I used to be the yes person. I used to be the submissive person, even when in my marriage, where I would make an effort to always make sure everyone's pleased across the board. And what that does, it left me just tired at the end of the day. And then it's almost like one thing where I keep giving, 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 but no, who looks out for me? And
Exactly.
then so now, like, it looks different, because if you really value your time and you love yourself, you kind of you start operating differently, and you won't notice it, but people will call it out, because they'll be like, "What do you mean you couldn't come?" Or "What do you mean you
Yeah.
couldn't do this?"
Yeah.
Or "What do you?" And it's because you're finally, saying no. Like, hey, listen, I like I know I always do this, every year, and that is expected of me. But this year, I need a break. I want to actually
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the party, the event, or something. I want to be the one being served this year, and I'm not, continuously the person just always on and up and up. So it's knowing yourself, knowing your balance, and then I think that creates the boundaries, right? So
Right.
and that could be for that, but then boundaries come with all sorts of things. Think about relationships and coworkers at work, how you're being treated at work just because you're getting paid. How much do I accept from this individual because they're paying me? You know, and now we have orthodox environments where a lot of entrepreneurs are making a lot of money and they're hiring people, but they don't have the basic concept of human resources and when something is disrespectful or out of line.
A
You know
hundred
what I mean?
percent. And I think that goes back to your values, right? It goes back to your values and what you because you are going to fall to whatever values you have. If you don't value respect and excellence and showing up and giving someone else, having consideration for other people, like if that's not important to you and you don't care about that stuff, Shailene, you're not going to have, you're not going to give that out. You're going to disrespect. You're not going to give your employees any raises. You're not going to give them any bonuses. You're not going to acknowledge you need time off for what? For Christmas? No, no, we're not doing that. Like all of these things, because that's as important to you as a manager, as an entrepreneur, or as a boss or anything.
And you know what? The fact that you said that those companies will not last long because they'll find themselves in a massive turnover situation every single time,
Every time,
where that becomes
every time,
they're gonna
every time.
exactly every time. So because if any true business successful person knows this, the more I pour into the people that are working for me, the more they will produce and the more I would grow. So if you understand that, then you get it going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
you're producing. Think about the bees, right? And the queen bee. The queen bee sits in the hive, right? That's corporate, right? And then every morning, these bees go out there and collect pollen. Why they all do it for their bee? Because they're getting some benefit from their bee, their
Right.
queen bee. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So, in essence, if like just dropping some gem, if you want to build an empire, don't focus so much on the money and how you're gonna expand. Focus on the people that are working with you and how you can have them grow. And if they grow, you grow, and that goes by
A
just
hundred percent.
knowledge. So there you go.
100%. I think that sometimes when it comes to the caring about people and their employees, they let we tend to let the pressure and what I have to do and this checklist and deadlines and all this stuff. You let all of those things get in the way. And I had a few clients that I was talking to that they care about their employees, right? But sometimes because of the priorities of the business, they tend to focus these deadlines and these projects over the people. And I think if you have a healthy balance, that's where that can kind of survive, right? It can survive if you have both. But when you have one more than the other, then of course things are always gonna, be lopsided.
Most definitely, and I've come to realize now a lot of people think like me, so that one little thing is not common sense. So what I
It's
also say,
not. You think it's
yeah,
common sense, but
I
it's
think so.
not.
Yeah. So what I also say is like, you know what? You can't do everything. Hire somebody to dedicate their time to your people and what they
Mm,
need, so that they feel valued while you're trying to figure out the corporate side. You know, about the
yeah.
operation, because a person starts feeling neglected or they start feeling any type of way. That's when they're like, I don't want to work here no more. Fuck this shit. I'm sorry, stop cursing. I don't want, forget this shit. Like I'm out. So
Yeah.
so so then you're like, then you as the business owner, you're like, I spent so much time. You think you spent so much time, but in reality, you just spent a lot of time directing, not mentoring, and they left.
And they left. And they left. So going back to being together, if being together is harmful and it's draining you, you're allowed to opt out. And that was one of the other points that Shailene made. You choosing not to attend is not betraying them. right? And it's respecting yourself, right? It's respecting your boundaries and what you stand for. You can honor your family and honor yourself all at the same time, sometimes from a distance. Sometimes if you need to do that from a distance, you just need to do it. Loving people doesn't require, sacrificing your mental health, especially, with all the craziness that's been happening in this world and in these streets.
Yeah, and then it might be time to set your own tradition. So like,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So if you always go to X Y and Z's house and have a bad time, next year host it. So you control the narrative, and then you bring them. Hey, listen, every other year it'll be at my house, and then you change the synergy, you change the vibe. Oh, we don't do this. It's not. We're not at your house this year. We're at my house, and we're doing it this way. And then just have that conversation where I want to host it this year. I want to shake things up, and this is how I want it to look moving forward. And then, when people they'll love you, they'll come and they'll show up. You regard, even if it's to judge, they'll show up.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
yeah.
Wayne K, good morning. Thank you for passing through. Welcome to A Glimpse of Growth. So okay, I want to talk about guilt, Shailene. I want to talk about guilt. A lot of people don't go to these things because not because they can't. Sometimes people just can't afford to. Oh, they're doing gifts exchange and I have to bring a meal, especially with all this stuff that's been going on from a financial standpoint. People can't afford it. And then they're still trying to keep up. And you mentioned that earlier. People don't go because they feel that they should. People feel guilty. Oh, I have to go. I have to keep up with this. Guilt often shows up when you start to. I feel like I felt guilty the other day when a family member was asking me to do something from a traditional standpoint when it comes to Christmas that I no longer support, and I felt guilty. And I remember from my therapy that my therapist had mentioned years ago that guilt shows up when you're trying to break an old pattern.
Yes, I
And I
think you know
sat
what.
with that and I was like, mm.
But check me out. Every single time you avoid something, the guilt, the weight of the guilt gets heavier, right? Because now you're adding more to your guilt plate, right?
Mm.
Versus, so the only way to get rid of guilt is to attack it face on,
Head
right?
on. Yeah.
So yeah, head on, face on.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right. Because guilt is not always a sign of that you're wrong or they're right. Like nothing like that. It's just sometimes it's just you
It's because
growing.
you play it in your head. You build up this whole thing in your head, and then you're like, oh man, I like, what are they gonna think? Because I didn't do this, I didn't bring this, I didn't have the money for this. So I say, drop the bags, man. Drop the bags. Drop the bags. You're holding a whole bunch of grocery bags unnecessary. Just drop them and be like, you know what? Face it. Face your situation. Hey guys, I'm here. I want to be here. This year kind of hit me hard financially. Hopefully next year. But you know what? And it could be something so simple as you going to the store and getting some little cookies and baking a cake and putting a ribbon on it. And because the fact that you showed up means more than the actual present. And with
And
what
I
people
think
don't
that's what we tend to forget, that my
yeah.
gift is not worth $100 versus my gift that I'm bringing is worth only $5. And I bake, but you put time into it. We got to remember that time is money, and your time is valuable. And once that time that you spend with them, once you sit there and that's gone, that you can never ever get that time back. So your time is precious.
Yes. And then think about like if they don't see you all year, they're not looking forward for your presence. They're actually looking forward to seeing you.
You.
And that's the hard part to
They
accept
want to
because
see
like
you.
if you yeah, because if you don't feel hype about yourself, then you feel like, oh man, ain't nobody want me there. But the reality of it is like we do. And
Yeah.
then bring you over here so we
Yeah.
can like Because the thing is, remember when we were kids and we're growing up, we're all together regardless of the fighting and everything.
Right.
So we always hold on to that sense of nostalgia, however that could have looked, right? So when you get older, you start seeing how families start separating, people get married, and just like everything starts changing. And then how do you really hold on to? Because you make these ideas in your head that you have to have X, Y, and Z, that you have to be able to produce, that you have to keep up with the Joneses, if you will. And in reality, that shouldn't matter if these are the people that you grew up with, that you know. So they should see you on all different lights. When you're down, when you're up, they shouldn't. You shouldn't be a highlight reel for your family, right?
A highlight reel.
Yeah,
You shouldn't be a highlight reel for your family. Okay, so stop trying to be the highlight and the perky and happy person. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it.
yeah. You should come with your like no makeup, just your hair messy. Like you knew me since I was like 5. Like what are we talking about here? Like so once you let go of all the other noise, it makes it easier for you to approach in any room because I'm not worried so much about your acceptance. I'm worried about how I'm doing today in the sense that I'm here and I made this effort to be here, and regardless of whatever might come out of this. Because you do have families that are very hostile, and they'll just come bring up the past and then just be like, I don't live there no more. But if you keep going back over there, good for
Right.
you, but that's a waste of time. But I'm
Mela,
here now.
Mela 1991, thank you for passing through. Welcome to A Glimpse of Growth. We're just talking about the holidays and all the things, the family that comes along with it. If you want to join the conversation, you are welcome. I think that when you just said that you don't live there anymore, and you got to remember that, right? Because once a lot of family members are triggers for other family members, right? They're
Yeah.
triggers for you, so you got to remember that I'm healed from that, and so you don't have to go down that road of that judgment and trying to defend yourself and all of the extra stuff that comes along with it. It's just too stressful. It's just too
Yeah.
much.
It's too much. It's crazy. It's like don't even do that to yourself. Just show up. Just show up and be you and whatever that looks like. Whether and try to have a good time because at the end of the day, time is of the essence. Your family's not gonna be around forever, and this is what I'm trying to say. The people you have around you today, that's what you have today. Life is so fragile that they might not be here 3 or 4 days from now.
Mm,
So, like, if you kind of understand that, then whatever problems you got going on, whatever grudges you got going on, just drop it. You know what I'm saying? Let's start the new year thinking like, you know what? I'm gonna push and develop myself to a point where, I'm gonna love myself again. I'm gonna treat myself again, and then that radiates to your whole family and everything else because you're operating differently. You know
mm-hmm.
what I mean? And then you show up different for yourself, and then you'll realize that a lot of things don't bother you no more because I'm not worried about what you think about my hair or how I look or nothing like that. You know what I mean? I love you. Good. I'm happy to be here. Give them a hug. Don't be confused as shit. They'll be like, what's going on where?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's not for no one else to figure out what you're going through, but it's for you to accept it and because everybody goes through their own internal turmoil, you know what I mean, on a daily basis. Nobody really knows when you're walking up to a person and saying, hey, X, Y, and Z. Everybody's carrying our own different type of weight. So what I'm trying to
100%.
say is that when you go to your family, right? Don't think that you're the only person that's having, like, oh my God, I'm nervous to go here because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Just go. We're all dealing with it at some.
Agreed. 100%.
Yeah. So
And
have
and
fun this year. Yeah, make it better.
and I think that remembering that the world has enough negativity and downness and depression and sadness. Like there's just and so much of that going around that is out there to spare. And to Shileen's point, it's remembering that this holiday season is about unity, is about love. And even though you may be feeling sad because you lost someone, or you're not with your family, or you're not sure if you should go, like at the end of the day, just be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful for whatever season you are in, right? And like Les Brown says all the time, that you're either in a problem, you're coming out of one, or you're about to go into one. Right? So whichever one of those buckets that you are in, remember that it's okay for you to be whatever season you're in, and you just sit with that, right? Whether you're with family or whether you choose to be by yourself this holiday season, sit with that and give yourself the space and the grace to be imperfect in a imperfect world. Give yourself
Yeah.
that space. You know what I mean?
No, most definitely. Like, yeah, let's start 2026 different. Why don't you make it on your goal list? Like, everybody hits the reset at the end of December, anyways, right? It's just some type of thing, right? We all have goals. So, if your goal this year is to become closer to your family, what does that really look like?
Mm-hmm.
And that might be you having to face your demons with a couple of people, right? And
Mm.
yeah, so once you get past the uncomfortable, that's when you know you've broken through. Because nothing worth having is not gonna cause you a challenge up front. So just think about that. It's not gonna be cute up front, but if you able to be vulnerable and just like talk about your feelings, which is kind of like I think a lot of people don't like to do, is it'll impact differently.
It will. It really will. And I agree with that 100%. I think that remembering that you are feeling some type of way for a reason, right? And understanding that that's okay. But you can't carry around that heaviness and that guilt and that unforgiveness and those kinds of things for so long without it doing damage to your body, to your psyche, to your well-being, you know?
Yeah, you can. Like, there's no way. So, like, what I tell everybody, just, you know what? On the 28th, 29th, take an hour for yourself. Sit down in a corner and then think about what do you want for 2026 to look like. And you know what? Having an imagination is a gift from God because if you could see it, you could achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
So try to like sit there and meditate. Be like, you know what I mean? I want this and I want that. Write it. It might take 5 years from now, but bro, I'm telling you, whatever you write down on that paper will produce. And I've been a witness to this in my own life.
Me
You know what
too.
I mean?
A hundred
It
percent.
just
A hundred
it
percent.
doesn't come immediately, but you're basically telling the universe that you want this, and everything is going to conspire to give it to you. So it's as that's how simple as it is. It's having faith that it's going to be produced. So if having family, having your whole like thing change out for this year, just write that down on the paper. I wanna build a family. I want to get closer to my mom. I want to get closer to my brother, whatever the case, whoever you have been distant with, and then make that a goal. And you're gonna find out that once you cross that goal, you're gonna be so much proud of yourself. It's gonna give you like a boost to be like, you know what, I could do this across the board. And then just know, accept everybody for who they are. Some people, they're not gonna change. You're gonna come and you're gonna tell them how you feel, and they might curse you out. And you know what? Just love them with the cursing out everything because they don't have the mental capacity to see what's really going on, and that's not your problem. That's not your worry. Just know that you got
You
it.
are doing your part. Just know that
Yeah.
you are doing your part, and you can't fix them. You can only worry and fix you.
Exactly. So it'll take away the guilt that you feel because you know what? I for so long I've been guilty about X, Y, and Z, right? And then whatever that made you guilty for. But now I'm addressing it. I basically told everybody how they feel. It was uncomfortable, but that uncomfortable only lasted like what 45 minutes. And then I say you don't have to deal instead of carrying guilt for the whole entire year. Do you know how heavy it is
It's
to carry guilt for the
unbelievably
whole entire
heavy,
year?
and it's so draining. And you
It's
know, every I
really
know this
draining.
person that every single time that doesn't deal with the family, every single time they come to get they mention this, and they're over there in the corner, and I was like, why come? Why come if you're not going to enjoy yourself? You're here. Be present 100%.
That's definitely self torture on that person's part. But no, but listen, if they would have nipped it in the butt and told you, you know what, I'm tired of all of y'all and your BS, blah blah blah
But then
blah.
they're waiting for an apology. What if the other person doesn't want to?
Apology.
Well, they're waiting
No.
for you to get, they want the person, you need to tell me you're sorry because you did this and you did that.
Yo, listen. All right, another
You're going to
thing
be
about
waiting
this is
forever.
no, okay, no, I gotta mention this because like my common sense is not so common, right? So don't be dependent on the other person's reaction for nothing. Just know that the secret about this is how we're getting this off our chest, right? You really gotta face the problem and then know that it could go left or right. The backlash is gonna be there regardless. But trust me, once it's out, and then you know your family members. You probably know some get more irate than the others. So you really have to practice on the delivery, right?
You
So
have to look into the mirror and practice.
yeah, because you don't know if that's gonna get you, you're gonna end up on the ground and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm eating for 2 weeks. But but yeah, those 2 weeks is better than a year. But what I'm trying to say is, you know your family and their capacity of understanding. So break it down in the most lamest of terms. It could be something so simple. You're talking to one person and it looks like this. I know we have a lot of problems in our relationship. I just wanna just put that on the past. I don't wanna mention anything because it's too many details. But I want to move forward this year, 2026, and try to stuff, right? So there's that aspect of it, right? There's that aspect or some people you just gotta talk to them rude. You just gotta be like, you know what? I'm tired of this.
Uh-huh.
You will not see me moving forward if this continues to happen. But you have to be assertive about it.
Right. You can't be like shy. I don't like when you say that thing to me, like you're being shy about it. Hi, welcome, Pamela. Pamela, welcome. How are you? Pamela, are you there? Can you talk? I don't think she.
Speaker on.
Yeah, I cut off. I cut. Pamela, if you can talk, unmute yourself. We're just talking about the holidays, you guys, and all of the stress that comes along with it, and whether or not you should go to that holiday party.
Like, listen, I'm about to go to the holiday party. Look, this is a real scenario for me today.
Uh-huh.
So my mom passed away last year, and it's been a year. So the way I'm celebrating Christmas presents itself different this year. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I am going to a family member's house that I haven't gone in probably 8+ years. Yeah, because when my mom was alive, I basically did everything on this side, and people would come, But this one particular family member, um, you know, uh, they also invited people that I'm not really like
cool with. You're not really cool with.
Yes. Just in case they're listening out here.
And
so, what is that gonna look like for me? That's basically, I told you my game plan. Why I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna smile. Nothing is gonna bother me.
You're gonna be yourself, right? You're gonna be present. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna.
I'm gonna be very present. I feel like time is of the essence. Either you get with the program or you don't. So I'm pretty gonna come at an angle. I'm just gonna hope everything for the best. And then the moment I feel uncomfortable, Merry Christmas, guys. I love you. I'll see you guys next year. Kisses around the board. You know what I mean? And then I showed up. I know that I showed up because even when I was like, oh, we're going over there. Oh, okay. So all right, let's do it.
I agree. I would definitely. I agree. If that's important to you, and you know that probably your mom would smile, and knowing that you went and you showed up, even though it's tough for you, around this time, I would, and you deciding to do it. That is kind of, and then think about how good you're gonna feel. Like, oh man, I showed up, and and when it became uncomfortable, I decided to respect myself and love myself and leave, because that's my due.
And then the last time I seen these people were at my mom's funeral.
Oh, yikes.
It's gonna be like, oh, it's been now a year. So for some people it's still fresh. For other people it's like,
yeah,
they can't. So it's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna get a whole bunch of, I'm sorry about your mom, sorry about your mom, sorry about your mom, oh, I'm sorry about your mom, and then I have to keep it together. You feel me?
yeah,
And then my shit, and then my eyes are gonna get puffy, and then my pictures are gonna ruin for Christmas.
Yeah.
Crying. I feel like I've done a lot of crying.
Agreed. Agreed. 100%. So I think at the cups of this conversation is choosing peace over pressure, love your family without giving them unlimited access, right? Attend the gathering if you can with boundaries, like Shailene is. I attended a few gatherings already, 3 or 4 of them in this week alone, and when I showed up, one thing I'm gonna recommend for you guys is see how you feel within your body when you leave. Like Shailene said, she's gonna, like, the minute it becomes uncomfortable, she's gonna leave, because she's gonna be listening to how she's, what she's thinking, what she's feeling. You're gonna be aware. That's self-awareness, right? Which is emotional intelligence. You're gonna be listening to your body and listening to yourself and seeing how you feel. And then she's gonna be like giving them the deuces, like, this is it. That's all I can do.
And at this time, I'm always hosting, so this is interesting because I'm the guest. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I get to sit down. I've never, in none of my parties, had the opportunity to just really be sitting down. Versus, I've been all over the place, cooking, making sure everybody
Yeah.
has their drinks, refilling, cleaning. So it's always been a domestic holiday for me where I
Yeah.
feel like I gotta clock in. You know what I
Well,
mean?
this is gonna
And
be
then,
so good. I can't wait to hear the aftermath.
yeah, no, after, oh gosh, right?
So I
I
would.
definitely have interesting characters in my family that we don't all have the same views. So
Yeah.
it's definitely it all. So for many years, it turns out good at the beginning, and then somebody gets in a fight in the middle of it. So, like, and
Because they can't control themselves. Self
no,
control.
no, because then liquor turns out to be the truth serum.
Yeah, because they can't say it when they have their five senses,
No,
right?
so
They don't
yeah,
have
so
enough
I
nerves to say it when they have their five
exactly,
senses.
yeah. Coquito, the Coronas, and then now everybody gets a peeled back. You feel me? You're like, what is this, a roast? It turns into a holiday roast.
No, no, because, and the thing is that that's all people know. People know pain and know giving pain really well. But I
Yeah.
challenge you this year to give love. Give yourself love, give the people around you love. And like Shailene said earlier, create new traditions that support who you are
Mm-hmm.
becoming, right?
Of
And protect your mental health without guilt. Don't let anybody put guilt on you and sit there and make fun of you, and you tolerate it with a smile. That's not who you are anymore.
No,
don't
man, get up, go.
don't do that.
Do the deuces. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm
give
out.
them the deuces and tell them that with love. But you don't have to stay, right? You don't have to stay. Your emotional well-being matters. It matters. And the more actions and the more you standing up for yourself that you do, the better your mental health is. You're like, I feel good that I defended
Yeah.
myself. You feel good.
No, you feel good, and then to know this, right? Your only obligations in life are to two things. If you have kids, you're obligated to make sure they're fed and just become a human, right? A
Right.
decent one, right?
Right.
So, but your other obligation, which is the first one, is to yourself, right?
Mm.
So you're not obligated to do nothing that makes you feel any type of way. No one is holding like I said, you're not into rest unless you really are. But then we're gonna call cops. Yeah, you're not really like so if you understand that no one like no one's obligated to help you, no one's obligated to do a single thing for you. Operate in the same instance. Like anything you do extra is because of the kindness of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
But don't have them expecting it that you're obligated to do this because you're not under no one's payroll when it comes to family, right? So however you showed up before that was making you unhappy and sucking your soul, doesn't mean you have to show up the same this holiday.
Not
You
anymore.
know,
You
not
are
anymore.
you are
So
allowed to choose yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Be honest with yourself, and without
yeah,
apology.
and you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna respect you. Why? Because they're not gonna understand where this is coming from. And then, unfortunately, sometimes when you treat people like this, you gain the respect, and you're like, oh, it took me to get left, and unfortunately, it took you to stand up for yourself because people who attract other people have a level of self confidence like no other, right? And this has nothing to do with looks. It's almost an aura that your
Mm-hmm.
presence, as soon as you walk in the room where you hold your head up high and you're not gonna take shit from nobody, and that right there demands respect without even you speaking. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that only comes after you start realizing that you are the key to everything. Your self love, your self health is what radiates and allows you to help and build others. So, like the pilot says, put the oxygen mask on first.
Mm-hmm.
You want planes going down because you're not gonna be able to assist anybody because you're gonna run out of air. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm trying to say is, in life, put on the mask before you leave the house, right? And know that you are your self running engine, and you can only as perform as good as you are. So I've been going to the gym for 2 years now consistently, and now that I've been single, so I know that I am my self running sustaining engine to keep producing, right? So but that means I got to get a tune up, like when you take your car for a tune up and all the
Yeah,
change.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if I relay myself and my body to like I gotta get constant tune-ups, and that could be spiritual, that could be just any sorts of way, then I'm gonna be continuously improving. So going back and then circling back, this is my ADD conversation, is to like, yeah, show up as yourself, or show up as yourself, and then set boundaries. And you got this. You got this. There's no way. No one's gonna say anything. They're just gonna be like, "Oh wow, she kind of like she's different this year. Something happened." And you know what's happened? That you chose you this year.
Mm-hmm.
You chose yourself, and that's something that people think, "Oh, I'm being selfish." No, it's okay to be selfish when it comes to choosing you, because if you are shining at the maximum capacity, then your output to anybody, your loved ones, your family, is gonna be even better, because you're not. It's not coming from a place of exhaustion. And you get the kids ready for bed, and then I got to take them a shower, and then the only time you get at the end of the night is 11 o'clock, and then people continue to asking more for you, and you feel like your life is mundane,
Right.
and that's not what life
And
is.
you're just going through
Life
the
is,
motions when it doesn't have to be that way.
so you are the driver of this vehicle, right? So you can decide how horrible it's gonna be, and it doesn't need, like, okay, people think that, oh, when I get money, when I get this. No, happiness starts from inside, and then
Inside out.
yeah, inside out. You, like, Nelson Mandela was in prison for 20 years, right? And when they interviewed him, he said, I focused on developing and helping the prisoners coming in. So by the time I got out of there, whatever, he became president. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because he took a bad negative situation. He said, you know what? There's no sense of me complaining about it. They're not gonna let me out. He did 20 years, right? And in those 20 years, every single time a person walked in, he focused on helping building them. Which, and then when he got out, was the greatest gift, because he was basically changing the way the prisoners came out rehabilitated,
Right.
and became better citizens. So I mean, that was a drastic change. I know that's a drastic analogy, but
No,
I'm
that's
saying,
that's exactly what it is, right? You're saying pretty much to take ownership of your own life and don't leave it up to other people, especially around this holiday season, right? Like, don't
yeah,
think that you're obligated to do anything as it relates to the holidays and going to the parties and buying the gifts and keeping up with what everybody else is doing. If it doesn't serve you and you don't want to do it anymore, then don't do it.
don't do it. Don't do nothing. You
Don't
don't
do
want
it.
to.
Don't go. Don't dress. Don't. If you just want to stay home and just watch Netflix all day or go to the beach for a walk, whatever that is, you can do that.
Exactly. You're open to do it. So that's what I'm trying to get. Understand that you are the creator of your life, and it could change as simple as you making a different decision.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
You make it. So you make that decision. You
Yeah,
don't allow other people to make that decision for you. And I love what you said regarding with Nelson Mandela, because he decided at some point, he's like, yeah, I can be here physically, but in my mind I know this is not where I'm going to stay, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and then so much good that output that it turned out great for him, because that those 20 years gave him mental development that he would have never gained nowhere else. And unfortunately, it was in a prison. But
Yeah.
your reality is only as true as the way you think about it.
Mm.
So you can literally be sitting in a hospital, but your mind could be somewhere in Fiji.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you understand that, how powerful your mind is, and how you can alter your reality in any given situation, then nothing is unbearable. You know what I mean? So
100%.
that's that. When somebody asks me how do I deal with a lot of pain that I come across, is because I remove myself from the situation and I choose not to think of it in that light.
Yeah.
And that right there has taken 2 years of training my mind. So when people say, "Oh, think positive," do you know how hard it is to think positive when the world's against you? Do you know how hard it
When the
is to think
chips are
positive
stacked up
when
against
you,
you
yeah,
constantly.
when you're about to get evicted, like a whole bunch of things that like that is so hard. But if you have faith, right,
Mm.
and faith is saying, you know what, I let it go and I decide to proceed forward. You know what I mean? So, but it happens over. It took me like about 6 7 months to really understand that if I'm gonna have faith, that I can't be worried about it no more. You know what I
Because
mean?
you left it up to whoever it is that you, some folks, whoever it is that you believe in, right? Like, whatever God you believe in, you left it up to, like, I know that he is or she is going, they're going to take care of me.
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
be fine either way.
So you call into your life what you focus and you attract, right? So if like they say, you focus on lack, you receive lack. You focus on
Mm.
abundance, you receive abundance, right? So if that's true, what does it hurt to do a simple mind switch that doesn't cost nothing? No money, no time. It doesn't disturb no one around you. It's simply taking a bad situation and saying, I understand there must be a lesson in this, right? But what can I extract positive from it? And then just keep the mind switch is the hardest thing, because the other thing that I practice, right, is like every time something bad, I did not verbalize it. Like I
Mm.
knew the situation was happening to me, but you know those negative words that you always say, like, "Oh fuck, damn me, this is always happening to me," like X, Y, and Z. Remove that from your vocabulary and be like, you know what? It's challenging today, but I'm gonna get through it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's letting you know that, yeah, the fact is that it is challenging. Can I get through it? Yeah. And the me personally, just I feel like God doesn't put nothing on any of us that we can't handle,
A hundred
and then
percent.
you can
A
relate
hundred
that to
percent.
your higher being. You know, like we're all made differently, and we all have different sorts of strength or whatnot. And I think we're all tailored a set of lessons, and that appears itself in different types of struggles. But in reality, those are lessons.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So
Peace is not selfish. It's necessary. Love doesn't require constant access. Your body often knows exactly what your mind does and what your mind needs. So listen to your body. Boundaries, reveal who respects you and
yeah,
who not who loves you. So they respect you. They can love you and not respect you. They can love you and not respect you.
that's all day. That's what we're dealing with. You know, a lot of people love you, but they'll skin you back real quick in front of another person. I'm like, what kind of love is that? You
Yeah.
feel me? Like you just ran over me like roadkill. Like and then that's love, but love that shows up in a very painful way. You know what I mean? Because I don't understand how you can love me and be so close to me and tear me down so quickly. And it's because,
Oh,
yeah.
Shailene. Yes, and they'll do it. But remember, and I always say this, and I'm like, they are projecting. They are projecting their insecurities, their pain, right? People can only give you what they have. If they only got pain, girl, boy, pain is what you gonna get.
So this is what I've learned to do because I navigate this in my own self. So as soon as they start sounding negative, I immediately cut. I bring my ADD conversation and I say something random that has nothing to do with nothing about that conversation. I'm like, you know what? For this hour and a half, let's be good. Let's be positive. Let's try. Let's try.
Let's
So
try together. Hi, Vincent Cooks. Welcome.
yeah,
Thank you for passing through. UB Idol producer. Hi, you guys. Hi, Ellis. Thank you for passing through. We just wanted to come in here and talk about a little bit about the holidays and kind of give you guys some encouragement and let you know that it's okay for you guys to be strong and to stand up for yourself and to love yourself during this season when you're going with families, which can be tough, a tough thing. And it's okay either way if you choose to show up to that party or if you choose not to. My girl Shailene Lopez, she's here, and Yeah, this is not going to be the last time we do this. I come in here every Wednesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, a glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale, just to talk about and give you guys some reinforcement, empower you, encourage you, inspire you. And my girl Shailene has been dropping gems all this entire time. She's been dropping
I
gems.
don't even know what I said. If you
You've
guys
been
said,
saying so many things. You've just been schooling me, and just because it's good to have to know that you're not the only one that feels this way and thinks this way. And I think a lot of people think that they're out there alone by themselves going through this and nobody understands me, when there are so many other people out there that has gone through what you've gone through, right? And that are
exactly, yes. It's how you approach it. It's like, listen, it's like how you approach it, right? If you
yeah.
approach like, okay, so let's say today I'm going to, family members that I haven't seen in a long time. I am gonna go with my best foot.
Charlene, I think you muted did you mute yourself? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, we got you now.
Right in the middle. I don't know, what did you hear? So what I'm
Leandro
saying, just
Gonzalez, welcome. Thank you for passing through.
yeah. So show up with your best foot forward, and just take it. If it listen, whatever you focus that's gonna happen, or whatever you think about it's gonna happen, might happen. So if you know that X, Y, and Z is gonna pop off on you, just be prepared for that. You know what I mean? And then just give them a hug and a kiss, and that's gonna confuse everybody.
It will. It sure will. I think that's true. It's important that you respect yourself, and it's okay for you to create new traditions if you don't want to go with family this year. During the holidays, it's okay for you to be strong and stand up for yourself. It's okay for you to maybe drop off the gift, get some food, and give them the deuces.
Like, did you make coquito? Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, it's okay. No, not every relationship is meant for every season.
Exactly.
There's
It's
some
gonna be fun.
relationships that they just are enough for one season a year.
Oh my goodness. No, it's a real thing. It's a real thing.
It's real, keeping it real. Choosing yourself teaches others how to treat you, how to handle you, right? And remember that old, people that knew you when they, back in your trauma days and unhealed days, you taught them how to treat you back then. Now, if you are changing, you need to remember that now that you are becoming all about your care and self-care and all this stuff, you are now have to reshape that relationship and teach them how to treat you today.
I want to stop you because you said something very important.
Yeah.
Your family only knows you as that person you were back then. So when you leave, they didn't witness the growth and the respect that you've gained from your colleagues or your friends. So when you come back, you're not looked at with the same admiration or the same respect that you do from your colleagues and your friends. So if they only knew half the knowledge, like when I go back, I'm not Shailene Lopez, the global procurement supply chain consultant and U.S. custom broker. I
And I'm
am.
not Dr. Dale. I'm the last one in the family. I'm like, one of the reasons I became a doctor because I want my older siblings to call me Dr. Dale. Like, we're not calling you doctor. It's not happening. It's just not
No,
happening.
yeah, no. So I'm just basically Mimi, and that's my nickname for my family. I'm Mimi. I've always been the person that always says yes, and the go-to person, the person that got stepped on for most of my
Yeah.
adolescence, and young childhood. So, when I start talking like this, how I'm talking to you, this came from years of pain and real life and not giving up. That I speak the way I speak because there's no other way. I would have known this. But when I go and I talk to them, do you know how ridiculous I sound to them? I sound ridiculous. I sound ridiculous. So sometimes it's like, let me just stay quiet, and then I sometimes realize I don't really have that much conversation because I've devoted myself these past 3 years to self development, self improvement, and just getting my
And a lot of emotional intelligence.
and a lot of emotional intelligence that they don't know where it came from. So it doesn't. It's like I probably sound ridiculous. So what I'm trying to say is, like, when you go back home, wherever that may be, you know what? It's okay to show all sides of you because you've changed, and change is something that comes with growth and it's just getting older. You can't be expected to be the same person you was 15, 25, 30. I'm 40 years old now. You feel me? So like
What she said. Yeah.
yeah, something happens when you're 40 that you just like you're like Cat Williams. You just don't give a fuck. And I know. Yeah, because my mom was like that too. The older she got, the more like she was very honest, and she would say these things that would be like, I can't believe she just said that, but it was so funny. So what happens is, the older you get, people, the more you realize that it doesn't matter what no one thinks about you. The only person that has to think anything about you is yourself, because you live with yourself. You go home with yourself and you go to sleep. You feel me? So if you can find your happiness within yourself and not dependent on no one, I'm telling you, it'll change your whole entire life, because you operate different. Your love. You're your own running, sustaining oil. You know what I'm saying? You're pouring it back into yourself.
Yeah.
So you show up differently. You show up with your head high. It looks different. Trust me. When you look at people that are, oh, they're conceited, no, they just figured out that, you know, I love me, and if you were made, wonderfully made and uniquely made, just know that no one can replicate you. And then this is the thing: we all have hands, and we all have different what is it, our handprint?
Yeah.
No one is no okay. So this just tells you that we are uniquely made.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And no one is replicated. So just know that you have a talent in you, and something great that lives in you that no one else has. And the way you tap into it, is to like identify what you do that comes easily. And that's it. And then so show up today with like, you know what? I got this. And then or not stay
You
home,
got this.
whatever you want to do. The ball's in your court, my friend. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah, the ball is in your court, and you can do these hard things. So thank you guys for this conversation. Shailene, you know, we've been here for how long? We've been here, like, my
I have
goodness,
no clue, but
I think it's an hour and 15. My goodness.
thank you guys for even staying this long.
Yeah. So yes, we just wanted to come in here and drop some love, you know, as you get ready for the holiday season. And we're gonna bounce out now because Shailene has things to do, and I gotta finish up buying some stuff for the holidays. One last errand I gotta do before I start my holiday season going on. So thank you guys for being here. Again, this is a glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale. Thank you, Shailene, for popping in here with me and giving everybody some love and some encouragement. And you guys can do this. You can do hard things. You were built for this. You were built for this. Shake it
Shake it off.
Shake it up. Shake it up.
Put your helmet on. Let's go.
Yes, you guys can do this. So I'll be back here. I'll come and, you know, give you guys a shout out before the end of the year. Next week, Wednesday, same time, Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. A glimpse of growth with Dr. Dale. Thank you guys. Take care. Thank you for being here and supporting this channel. If you enjoy this episode and this content, it would mean a lot to me if you would take a few seconds to ensure you are subscribed to A Glimpse of Growth with Dr. Dale. Click the notification bell to receive notification. Share it with someone you think may need it. And let's continue to become more intelligent with our emotions. Thank you.